Nah, what the hell? Why did they put 9/11, bro? This had to have been on purpose, bro. Like, what the hell? 9/11, like, you have to be joking at this point. So today we're talking about the controversy with the new Disney Channel show called Oye Primos. Now, the controversy comes from two things. One of them being the way it's pronounced and how it's incorrect Spanish, and the other one is because the voice actors for one of the characters came out and said some stupid ass, whack ass shit. But first, let's talk about the actual controversy. You're seeing this everywhere, like bro being like, not a real Hispanic. Now, you know my opinion when it comes to this kind of BS. People like complaining about things, conservatives and liberals. Everyone likes complaining about something, but yet you'll always see one side call the other sensitive. Now, the reason why people are being frustrated is because they use the term Oye Primos. Now, that's incorrect Spanish. Initially, you're supposed to say Oigan Primos. Now, Oye and Oigan are supposed to mean like, you know, here, like here. It's like, you know, like kind of yelling at somebody like, hey, like kind of like that. And they use the incorrect one. And also, primos means cousins, just giving you a bit of Spanish. Now, to give you guys a little bit of background on my life, I know to my returning subscribers, y'all have heard me say this many times, but to the people who are new to this video, I am from Hispanic heritage. My mom is a Mexican immigrant, and my father is a Salvadorian immigrant. It's actually why I like to have this flag here. Not a lot of Salvadorian YouTubers, so it's kind of nice to maybe be one of the first and only ones. I'm being completely honest. I don't know any other Salvadoran YouTuber, or at least any like American Salvadorian. But no, I'm not an immigrant. I make jokes like that all the time. In fact, my channel name, Dundo, that comes from a Salvadorian word that just means stupid. So I'm very, and I also know really good Spanish. Do I know perfect Spanish? I'll be completely honest. I can barely write Spanish because I'm sorry. I don't know what's up with you fucking Mexicans, you Spaniards, whoever decided to do what we do, but Spanish writing is so impossible. Everything has like an acento or ñ or what freaking ever. Like, bro, just be normal. Now, I tried to do a little bit of research. I didn't watch the show myself, but I was looking at people who had reviewed the show, and they all seem to say the same thing. This isn't a show that takes place in Mexico or Central America or South America or Spain or the Caribbean, I don't know, wherever. But it's a show about a character who lives in the States and is a Chicana. Now, Chicana is a Latino who is born and raised here in America but come from Hispanic heritage. Now, the weird thing is you see a lot of times is there are certain Hispanics that are born outside of America that will genuinely get pissed off as us Hispanics that are born in America. And I get it a little bit because we are privileged. We are American citizens. We get far more privileges just being born on this country. And even me, I know this firsthand. I was the first actual born in the States. I have an older brother and older sister, both of them immigrants. My parents are immigrants. A lot of my tios and tias are immigrants. So I understand why people are annoyed at that. But there's a running joke in this show that the main girl doesn't actually know Spanish all that well. And that's pretty common with a lot of Hispanics. Or not a lot, but there's quite a few Hispanics that don't know Spanish or either don't know proper Spanish. Like I said earlier, I know how to talk Spanish. But I will say I've gone to Mexico many times, Salvador, same thing. But one thing that is pretty consistent is some people will realize I don't really know as much like Spanish slang because I was born here in the States. So obviously I'm going to know English more than I know Spanish. And I know more English phrases. I know this, I know that. And also I can't really write Spanish. I mean, I can write it, but like it's going to be so incorrect. Like, that it is. But I can conversate to you in Spanish. I literally, my entire life growing up, I would literally have, when me and my mom would go to places, I would literally have to translate things for her, or I would help her communicate with other people who just didn't speak Spanish. But the thing is, Hispanics, and I've seen this so much on Twitter, Hispanics are so sensitive. I'm going to say it, bro. I'm going to say Hispanics are sensitive. Like, you will see Hispanics devalue other Hispanics for not knowing a certain term in Spanish, saying, oh, you don't follow the culture. I even had this myself when I was younger. I remember we had these chicharrones. They're like these little chips. I don't know how to, they're like little pork chips. To my Hispanic people, you know what I'm talking about. But when I was younger, I didn't really eat salsa all that much. Now I do like salsa. I don't eat too spicy, but I eat like enough to where you're like, yeah, that guy's obviously Mexican. I do a lot of things that seem obviously Hispanic. But um, I remember when I was younger, and I was like 8, and I didn't put salsa in it. And I remember like some of my tios and tias that were looking at me, and they were like, look, this is clearly an American. This is clearly a gringo right there. And I'm like, bro, what the hell? I'm still eating a fucking Mexican snack. Like, why do I need to put salsa in it? Like, I actually enjoy not having to drink milk every 5 seconds. So when I looked at all this controversy, building up until eventually the voice actors responded, it all just comes off as stupid. The show's obviously trying to tell you that this girl doesn't speak or doesn't really understand Spanish all that well, and that's okay. She's a Chicana. Now, I will say, if you're a Hispanic parent, do teach your kids Spanish, not only just because so that they can be in tune with their culture, but at the same time, it's also good for jobs. Here in the States, you will more than likely get a job just by knowing Spanish. You might get paid more just by knowing Spanish. The Spanish teacher in my middle school, bro, was the highest paid teacher. Now, not just because of his Spanish speaking, but because he was one of the most intelligent people in that entire school. Or probably the most, honestly. But I literally look at all this controversy. And I don't get it. I don't get the anger. I don't get the frustration besides, oh, I want to look cool to my Hispanic race. I want to act virtuous. It's always the same thing. Like, bro, we got more important things to worry about. And yeah, look, I saw a picture. It showed the writers, a lot of the writers and staff are white. But who cares? Look, when it comes to this kind of representation BS, who cares? Just make a good show. Does your show happen to have a Hispanic? Cool. Now, I will say the one difference here is this is a show that entirely revolves around a Hispanic family. But at the same time, who cares? Write a good Hispanic story. Write a good white story. Write a good black story, Asian story. I don't care. Just give me a good story. When I was younger, I didn't care about representation. One of my favorite shows was literally a regular show where it was just a freaking giant bird and a raccoon. So it's like, why would I care? Like, oh, I see a Mexican. And don't get me wrong. When I've seen Mexicans, sometimes I get a little happy. When Namor was played by Tano Huerta, it was cool to see him. I'm excited to see Blue Beetle for Zolo Maridueña. Not only that, but he's in one of my favorite shows of all time, Cobra Kai. So, you know, I do like it, but it's not what I'm looking for. And this show is just a girl who just happens to be Hispanic. And she, like, the thing is, when it comes to race is just a part of you. It's not what defines you as a person. Me, when I talk, and when I hope to do on YouTube, is I like to just be known as a good guy, a person that someone can hear out. Maybe they disagree with me, but at the end of the day, we just have a conversation. I don't just want to be seen as the guy that's, oh, look, there's a stinky immigrant. Oh my God, he's Mexican. Like, no, that's not what I want. But I will tell you this, though. If you want to make a really good intro, you do this intro. Every Hispanic stereotype that I've ever learned has literally come from the George Lopez show. Like Cuban stereotypes, Mexican stereotypes, any stereotype has literally come from George Lopez. But no, now let's get into what the voice actress said, because that one I feel like really stirred the pot on the sensitive people who really like to call everything whoa.
The Spanish language is not a Latin American language. It's a language the Spanish conquistadors forced upon Latin American people. The only reason we're Latin people and not Native American people is because of that distinction. So be mad at me all you want for misspelling words in Spanish. Be mad at me all you want for mispronouncing words in Spanish. That doesn't take away from the fact that I am a Mexican American, Native American woman. We're trying to make a good show for kids that feel left out, for kids that are different, for kids who don't have a full grasp on any language, no matter where they live. And if you're going to be mad at that, I don't know. Be mad then.
Bro really wants us to be in the tribe again. This is exactly what I mean when I say Hispanics are so sensitive. Because you say stupid takes like this. Sure, what she's saying is true. But who cares? We moved on from that. Every Hispanic person has moved on from that. Any person from Aztec heritage has moved on from that. Because you can't keep overthinking the past. You have to make your own future, make your own past. It all starts right now. And this girl, look, I can't blame her for being frustrated. Because a lot of people went out of their way to bash this show and called this show racist. All because it was a grammatical error that clearly looked on purpose. But this girl's response was far worse by saying that Spanish is inherently is a language that shouldn't be spoken, or that it's a horrible language inherently. I'm sorry, but you're basically shitting on all Hispanic people, because all Hispanic people right now speak Spanish. And having a brain dead take like this does not help your case. Look, all you have to do is say a video saying, hey, this was just part of the show. Obviously, this character doesn't know much Spanish, and we're representing more Chicanas and Chicanos rather than actual people who live in Latin America. And that's what I've always said. That's cool. I think if you want to do representation, cool. But don't respond this way. Never respond like this. Because now that demographic that this show was trying to push onto, that demographic is going to watch this and say, what the hell did you just say? Spanish is a bad language because of its history? You're speaking English right now. I don't know if you know your history, ma'am. And it all boils down to people being sensitive. People being sensitive over, oh my god, they said oye instead of oigan. And then other people being sensitive of, oh my god, well, Spanish is actually a bad language, and, it was taken because of Spanish conquistadors that came over here and they messed with the Native Americans. I guarantee you live in America. No one cares, okay? No one cares anymore. Sorry, society has moved on. I know that's such a hot take because post-2020, people seem to finally care about indigenous people. But just shut up, okay? What do you want us to do? Give all the land back? Obviously we can't. There's people that live here, okay? Just shut up. Just shut up, okay? Such a brain dead take. Such a stupid thing to say when all this controversy is coming up. Instead of actually being smart, functioning adults, you instead decide to attack all Hispanics. You're Hispanic. I guarantee you know Spanish. You know Spanish. I guarantee you that. And I'm fine with this show representing for people who don't, because there are Hispanics who don't speak Spanish, and it's unfortunate for them. Because I guarantee you a lot of those kids that didn't learn Spanish, they get made fun of for not knowing Spanish. I've seen this firsthand in my own life, okay? I've seen friends that don't know Spanish, and their families make fun of them. And that is true. But respond like that. Don't respond. It's like if someone was like, let's say you made a video and someone says, oh, I disagree with this thing you said. And then you respond with, oh, yeah, well, you love Hitler, so why do I care? It's like, the hell, you're just going a completely different route. And if you cared, I guarantee you don't know much about your Aztec roots, or you don't know anything about any of that. You're just virtue signaling, which is the issue with a lot of the internet nowadays. And you see this from a lot of Hispanics nowadays, that you see this virtuous side of, oh my God, I am a minority struggling in this country because I speak Spanish. It's like, no, you're not, bro. You got papers, you got a U.S. citizenship, you got that shit, bro. You're far more privileged than half of us, most of us, You're privileged. Your parents came to this country, they fought hard, and they gave you an opportunity that you wouldn't have gone in Mexico. Guarantee you wouldn't even have been a voice actress. You're probably making good money right now as a voice actress. You probably wouldn't have gone that if you were in Mexico or in Central America or wherever you're from, okay? So just be privileged, okay? You want to be a real Hispanic? Go to a construction site. Work with a bunch of Juans and Jose's. You want to go be a real Mexican? Go right now and start a gardening business or landscaping business, Or you want to be a real Hispanic girl? Why don't you be a janitor or a... What are those women that clean? The ones with the black clothes? I don't remember what they're called. Oh, a maid. Be that. But just shut up, okay? You don't care. You don't care about Spanish. You don't care about this. You saw a lot of people. You got mad. And you decide to respond the most brain-dead, stupidest way imaginable. No Hispanic listens to this and thinks, oh my gosh, she actually makes a good point. No. Every single person listening to you right now thinks you're stupid. And now because of that, you've just ruined your show. This show is not filled with controversy because you decide to respond in the stupidest way imaginable. And look, I won't deny you, people are sensitive. A lot of these conservatives that are mad at this show, they're sensitive. They're crybaby sensitives that have nothing better to do with their lives, and they're trying to get a paycheck from it. Especially these YouTube channels that call everything woke, SJW, liberal. It's like, don't get me wrong, I defend you on that. But don't be going out saying this stupid ass shit. Don't be saying that. It's like going to France and being like, well, croissants and baguettes are inherently racist, and if you like that, then you're evil and you're actually rooted in whatever French bad history. It's like, just shut up. Every country has its bad history. There's bad history everywhere. That's why we learn from it. That's why here in America we learn about the Holocaust. We learn about slavery. We learn about World War II. We learn about all these things so that future generations don't fall through it. And guess what? It's not happened yet. Over here in America, there's less racism. There's less homophobia. There's less this. There's less that now, right now. And the goal is to eventually stop that. But you can't go backwards and try to change something, because that's not gonna work, okay? We are not Barry Allen. We're not Jake Garrick. We're not Wally West. We're not any of these speedsters, okay? We can't time travel. We're not Marty McFly. We're not the Avengers. We can't go back in time and change history. But all we can do is teach the future generations about our history and move on from that, okay? And in a couple years from now, a couple decades from now, us Hispanics that have parents that came here, that settled here, and now we're born and raised here, we're going to have kids that are barely going to know their Hispanic roots. But the goal is to teach them about that. But if you're telling your kid that Spanish is an inherently bad thing and you're not teaching them that, then I'm sorry, you're not doing anything for your culture. Okay, and not only that, but you are a person face head on one of the most popular Hispanic shows right now, and you're saying this dumbass shit? Like, come on, man. And this also, George Lopez. There's this like guy who came out and said that George Lopez doesn't like hiring other Hispanics in his shows because he likes to be seen as the only Hispanics. This is all bad for everyone. Teno Huerta with the sexual assault stuff. Dude, if all that's real, bro, all they're doing is putting down our people down. You're not doing anything, bro. You're not doing shit, okay? I know this was a comedic video, but I'm being completely honest now. You're going out of your way to say Spanish is an inherently bad language, and that we're conquerors or whatever, that it was bad. Sure, there might be some history there that you're right about, but who cares? What are we supposed to do? Cry about it? Oh my god, I know Spanish. That means I've benefited from Indians dying. It's like, what do you want us to say, bro? What do you want me to do? What do you honestly want me to do? Exactly, we can't do nothing. But we can learn from it, move on, and make a better life. And that's what I'm trying to say every time. That's why I hate virtue signaling so much. That's like the one thing I can agree with on conservatives. There's so much virtue signaling. There's so much pandering. There's so much pretending to be a social justice warrior, when in reality, all you're doing is trying to get followers on Twitter. Like, no one cares, bro, okay? No one cares, okay? No one cares. No one's watching your video and saying, yes, let's give the land back to the Aztecs. It's like, no, nobody cares, bro. Nobody freaking cares. No one. Every Mexican now doesn't care. Every Central American, South American, no one cares. Because what can we do? Cry about the past? No. No, we can't. So we move on from it. And we try to be better. And I know I'm repeating myself, but it's just the truth, okay? But man, this was such a stupid ass take, bro. This was such... It's mind-boggling knowing some stupid ass people like this exist. And you make all us Hispanics worse. You make us look all bad by saying something that's dumb. Because I can guarantee you some little white kid is probably watching this video and saying, oh my god, is this what Hispanic women are like? Ew, gross. It's like, come on, bro. Come on. You know? It's like, I guarantee you the voice actors of Coco didn't say shit, or Encanto, or Book of Life. You know, I guarantee you those voice actors, they didn't say shit. Zola Maria Dueña didn't say shit. So you shut up, okay? Shut up and be smart. But that's all I gotta say for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. If this show upsets you with the grammar, you know, whatever it is, let me know in the comment sections down below. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.
Yeah, we broke and we know it, we don't act like all these other rappers acting like they got racks. Borrow cars, but we whipping in my mom's truck. 99 full, but act like it's a double R. Yeah, we broke and we know it, we don't act like all these other rappers acting like they got racks. Borrow cars, but we whipping in my mom's truck. 99 full, but act like it's a